I actually first learned about KESA quite a number of years back. And it's interesting how I came across KESA. Um, I went online when I was about to finish my PhD degree at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. And that was around 2009. So I was interested in knowing, okay, I think I want to know the Kenyans who are teaching in universities here in the US. How can I get a hold of them, and how can I just get to learn of some of the things they are doing? So I actually went online and just Googled, I, this name came up, KESA, and I was interested in knowing, okay, what is KESA about? So I just, briefly read about it, and I realized that it was an organization which was still pretty new, and it was actually based in Ohio. So at that time, I was just about to finish my graduate program, and as soon as I was done with the program, I got a job in a university in Ohio, and it was such a wonderful thing for me because I felt I was going to be close to, you know, an organization that I could actually be part of. So when I went to Ohio, I spent 1 year before actually getting in touch with the organizers. And finally, when I got in touch with them and I saw that they were having a conference sometime in September of 2011, that's when I actually attended my first KESA conference. And I definitely loved it. I drove there. It was a very close distance for me. And I found it to be a place where I felt I wanted to be. Yeah, so when I went to the first conference, luckily I had a topic that I was going to present on, and unfortunately I cannot remember the exact topic right now. It's been some times back. But so I went there and I presented my topic. And, just arriving there, I had never really had an opportunity to meet with such a group of scholars from my own country. And I thought it was such a wonderful thing that this group of people had started. And so, just even on the first day of arrival, you felt that this was a welcoming environment. These were people who are really interested in supporting some of us who are still very young in the profession. And, the entire conference for the 2 days, to me, I wished I could even have stayed longer, to see what else was going on beyond the time that I was there. But, it was such a wonderful experience, and I really, really wanted to be part of that group, just listening to presentations that people had, and just knowing that as a new person in this career, I really needed to be with people that I could trust and people that I could easily approach whenever I needed them, and they've never disappointed. That's one thing that I wish I could attend every year. But due to some challenges here and there, sometimes, you are either traveling to another conference or family situations. I have actually been able to attend 4 KESA conferences. And in those 4, I have always felt that I think I missed something last year. I follow and I go online and I look at what people have done. And I always just want to say, I should have been there last year. But unfortunately, sometimes, it doesn't happen. And, I'm very committed to KESA, and I want to be part of this organization. This is something that, I can proudly say I have actually benefited from being in KESA. One thing, the kind of people there, people share information, and people are willing to actually share information that they know others are going to benefit from. I remember I'm actually currently in Tanzania right now on a Carnegie fellowship program, and I couldn't have known about Carnegie if it was not for KESA. People like Dr. Koti and also Dr. Gerono and others within the organization have heard about this before, and they actually posted on the website and sent emails to those of us who are on the listserv. And that was something that I felt, as a young scholar, that these are people who have actually known about these programs, and they wanted other people to benefit. So that is one of the big things that I think with KESA, if there's a lot of sharing of information, with the thought of at least making sure that all of us benefit in one way or another. With the presentations that people do there, most of these people in the program have, in the organization, have been teaching for quite a number of years. They've been doing research for many years, and there's just tons and tons of information that you can learn from people who have been in the career for many years. So personally, I've really benefited from just interacting with them and feeling that they really care for some of us who are still growing, and literally just always looking to make sure that we come to the conference. Somebody will track you down and say, have you submitted something? And so it is good. I've actually done presentations in many different conferences, and sometimes conferences may be different. The focus or the themes might be different. You go to other conferences, and they are mainly, like one of the conferences that I go to most of the time, it's mainly on child development. And so, that is different from, an organization like KESA or the KESA conferences, because with KESA, it's really open, it's all fields. It's all fields. And I feel like, with KESA, you can pick everything that you are looking for. It's an organization that I would encourage people to go to, and I think I would encourage people not to shy off from presenting research that they've done elsewhere. I think we need to think a little bit further and not just concentrate on, that's my own opinion, not just concentrate on Kenya alone, but if I'm coming with some work that I've done probably in a different place. I am Kenyan, I'm interested in Kenyan situation and Kenyan issues, but there are issues that affect people in different parts of the world that can also be applicable to Kenya. So I think I would encourage people not to feel like this is Kenya, I have nothing about Kenya. I don't think that is I don't think KESA will disappoint. I don't think anybody will say this work does not fit in our organization. So I would encourage people to really come and see what is there, come and see for themselves and talk to people and interact. And, you'll find that you're not in a place where you don't belong. You will feel actually very welcome, and personally that is part of what I can share in terms of welcoming others. I think a lot of times for organizations when they are beginning, those are some of the things that we struggle with. How do we attract other people? How do we make sure that we are growing? And I know KESA has grown, from the time that I started attending until last year when we were in Atlanta. I think there was a very big difference. So we can grow. However, I think what I haven't seen much is a lot of young professionals coming to join us. So I think this is an area that each one of us, especially for those of us who have been in KESA for some time, we need to begin actually going and finding some of our own students who are actually interested in research. Undergraduate students, graduate students, all of them can be part of this organization. So I think we need to make ourselves known in our universities, and from just presenting at KESA, I can actually go back to my own department and talk about the organization. Most of our universities really, really value research that is done outside of the United States, for example. And, there's so much that we can encourage our own students, to be able to be part of this organization. So probably one thing is really to challenge ourselves, and I will begin with myself, to begin looking for students, Kenyan students, undergraduates and graduates, who we can begin to mentor and actually begin to bring, because in 10 years' time, they need to be the ones running the organization and actually seeing that it has grown beyond what we have right now. And those students are many. They are actually very many. We know them. We haven't done enough to actually bring them on board. I think we need to we need to think about, can I bring a new person every year? And that other new person can bring another new person the following year. So I think we can just work on something like that. I think every KESA conference that I've attended, there's always been something that you leave saying, this was good, it was good to be here. I think, thinking about the speakers that we bring, I think every speaker that has come to KESA has brought something. It's a very well-respected organization, both within the country and also by our own, leaders. We have the ambassador coming there almost every year, and it's just wonderful to sit in that audience and be part of a group that is very well respected like that. So personally, I feel, every time that I've gone there, I have left, feeling that it was wonderful and I want to come back. We interact very well at the end of the day, at the end of the conference. We get together, we travel around, we get to see a few things here and there. And, there's always something that you'll always remember. The presentations, the interactions, and the people that you meet, and laugh and just be happy, Well, when you go to the social events after KESA, a lot of times you don't even feel like you're in the US. It's always a situation where we go and we just feel like this is a big Kenyan group of scholars, and at that time, we are not even talking about our research. We actually go back and begin talking about, our own lives. We talk about, what's going on, in the country, in our own country. And, we have very good food that's made by Kenyans. There's always a drink, and, there's always a dance, because you cannot just stay in a place and feel like, okay, this conference, it's going on, it's over, I need to jump into the car and go back to my home. We have the social aspect, because human beings are social, we are social, and we cannot just be tied in in an environment where we cannot express ourselves in other different ways. So, we've had very good social interactions with people, and you actually remember a lot of those. When you go back, you will always remember the one person who was, just doing something interesting, and that's the beauty of just being with groups like, like the people we interact with. So it's beautiful to actually think about the fact that, wow, we've actually grown to 10 years. And, that is something that I should really, really congratulate the leadership, because it's not an easy thing to bring an organization to where it is right, to the level that KESA is right now. We've moved from being small, and we are now a big organization, and we are sure that we are growing.